It wasn't really like, I mean, I'm pretty sure it was connected to what all happened, but there was a storm going over Atlanta, so I flew to Birmingham and then Atlanta, and then I was supposed to be here at 9:30, but I didn't end up getting here until about 1:30 in the morning on Friday morning.
Chase, you're good? Jason, good?
Flew Thursday, so no problems.
All right. Chase, let's talk about it. You had some work to do in Moto number 1. After Horsepower Hill, you had a weird line that sort of you were in the line, popped out, went outside before you dropped down to the valley, I think by the road jump. When did you find that, and did you find that was a key place for you passing through all the motos?
Wait, where was it at?
It was after Horsepower Hill.
Yeah.
You would drop down, you'd stay to the outside, cut out of that line early, and then wrap to the far left.
Yeah, first moto, well, I actually fell on the inside, and then it's really difficult to make passes out here, especially when they build the inside singles up, because they're almost like vert walls for most of the day till second moto. So I had to get pretty creative, and I don't know when I found it. I think maybe I was behind Hunter. I kind of went outside just to kind of experiment, and I cut back, and I would go off the wall. So when you can move around on this track, it's when you can go fast. So I got lucky kind of to find that line. But, yeah, I feel like first and second moto, the lines changed a lot. We didn't really run the same lines all day, which was cool, but I feel like this was one of the deepest we've seen Washougal ever, for me at least. So it was cool, but, yeah, it was a tough day.
AP, we're going to talk about the stall. But before we talk about the stall, you put your fastest lap in Moto number 1. I think it was about 25 minutes in. You were losing maybe 2 seconds a lap to Chase, and then you found it. How did you find that fast lap so late in the race?
I was scared of him catching me. He dug into my, was like a 5 or 6 second gap. He dug into about 4 seconds of it, and I was like, I got scared, and I started running away. But no, I just told myself I had to be perfect, and that lap I didn't make any mistakes. I just cruised, and I was breathing good, and I just hit my lines really, really good, and all the other laps I was thinking behind me, so I would make mistakes, and yeah, but that was just a perfect lap.
Jason, it seems like I don't want to say the pieces were missing, but they might have been in the wrong order. You're really putting some good race weekends in together. Can you pinpoint one thing that is different? Is it you, the motorcycle, or what are the things that all the pieces are connecting and you're getting the results you're getting?
Yeah, I think I've just been outside the podium. You know, I've had gone 5-3, 4-4, just been kind of just 1 point outside the podium, and I just honestly haven't had it through the whole moto to be able to stay with these guys. And we've been working on our motorcycle, and we've made some changes, and I think it's starting to show. You know, I'm getting more comfortable. We're still first year with this Cowie, so we're just trying to get it better and learning about it, you know. And obviously, you know, these guys aren't making it easy. Chase is riding really well, and it's tough. It's tough out there. This 450 class, it's the top dudes, and we all know how to race.
Guys, you guys were sitting over here talking a little bit. What are the things that you discussed about the track, about the race, when you guys were just sitting there small talking? Or is it not able to be on a microphone?
Yeah, it wasn't anything about the race.
How bad the Roost hurt?
Okay, you dropped a big line, AP. You said this crowd is as good as Redbud. Did you hear the chant they started? It was USAP.
Yeah. It's these fans are up here are crazy. They're awesome. And going around the hot lap of the first moto, I was like, wow. They really showed out today. But yeah, it's always a good time up here. It's a beautiful place, and I think this is this is most people I've seen here in a while. So they were covering the whole hillside, and then in between, you know, down where the S corners are, I couldn't even see the ground. So it was cool. They were loud, and they kept me going in that second moto for sure.
Jason, Chase said it was sort of hard to pass on this track, or it could be. Did you find yourself having to be more aggressive as far as coming into the turns, going out of the turns, or just putting that front wheel in front of anybody today?
Yeah, this track is definitely hard to pass on. I think even my first moto, I feel like I had a little bit of pace on Justin, and I just could never figure out a way to get around him, and it was tough for me. Luckily, I think like Chase has a good amount of pace on everyone, so it works out a little bit easier for him right now. But for me, I just feel like my pace, even if it's a little bit better than like Justin Cooper, he's still good enough to be able to keep me behind him. And it's this track is tough, and I think it's like they said, it was more tilled up, ruddy, so it was a little harder to like move around. And I think usually when we're here, it's a little shallower and you can move around, so it's a little bit easier to pass. So the ruts kind of made it a little tougher today.
Chase coming into Supercross, obviously new team, so the transition was a little tough. Has it been an easy transition going from Supercross and having the team adapt the bike from Motocross?
I would say it's been a lot easier. There were some dark times in Supercross for me. I was struggling really bad. I was having weird crashes in the whoops during the week and getting myself hurt. So outdoors, immediately when I got on outdoors, I felt like I had a better feeling, and the bike maybe not suits me better for outdoors, but it feels more comfortable. So I knew I was going to be better this year than I was last year. I just didn't really know how much better. So I don't know. It's been really fun. I haven't really touched my bike a lot, a few tweaks here and there, but my riding, I feel like, has been a lot more calm, a lot more stable, and more centered in the bike, for me at least. And it's helped me a lot to kind of minimize those mistakes. So hopefully we keep that going. I still need to fix my stars. First of all, I don't even know how I made it through the first 2 turns where I did, because I was buried. I had a horrible start, and can't really afford to do that. There's a lot of stuff that can go wrong back there. So I need to fix the stars, but everything else, the bike has been really good outdoors.
Aaron Hansel with Racer X. This first one's for Jason. I'd like to, if you could, take us through that pass early in the second moto when you went from third to first. Was that something you had up your sleeve, or you just saw the opportunity and pulled the trigger?
Yeah, at the beginning of the day, they made all those rollers on the inside like really, really steep, so no one was really using them. And then on the sight lap, they went over that roller on the inside, and I think they just went over it with a skiddy that kind of made it more shallow, so it kind of turned into like the main race line. And when I went up the hill, it was Justin and Hunter to the left of me, and when they didn't go to that roller, I just went to it to see what would happen, and it was actually really cool to be able to go by them, because like this track it would have been tough for me to get by Hunter and Justin if I would have been, it had taken me 10 laps to be able to get by both of them if I was riding well. So it was nice to zap them right there and trying to it was nice to just ride out front, lead laps, and kind of find my groove a little bit.
Is there something about this track in particular that agrees with you? Because this is your third year in a row podium here, I think.
Yeah, I've always liked Washougal. It honestly took me a while to have some good results here. Through my career, I think my first podium here was in 22. But these last 3 years, I've kind of gelled with it really nicely, and it's really nice to be able to come here. And I always enjoy the Northwest, even if I didn't have the results. It's beautiful. Track's fun. It's tricky, but it's a nice break for us, because I think that Southwick, Redbud, Millville is really tough on us. You get really worn out and you come up here, and it's nice to have that no humidity and some good weather.
Here's one for all three of you. We don't have to get too deep into it, but it's a little hotter today than it gets up here sometimes, and I'm curious if that helped the track develop differently than normal.
I obviously think it was deeper, but I think the track was more wet this year. I don't know if they brought something in to make it different, but it felt softer. But I think last week in that muggy at Millville, it was tough on us. It really was.
Yeah, it felt like in practice, it felt different than it usually does. It felt like there was like sawdust or something, or sand or something in it. It was like deep up top, but down below it's still hard, that hard base. But I think it helped. The heat helped with how much water they used this morning. Because I think if it didn't get as hot, it would have stayed pretty slick and pretty muddy all day. But I think that's probably how it helped.
But I've obviously trained with Levi pretty much day in, day out, and I think he told me that, he's obviously pretty tied in here. I think they dumped a lot of sand on the track, so I noticed even after first practice, it was getting bumpier faster than it has in the years past. As far as like size of bumps, is usually here it kind of gets that chattery kind of steep bump. But there was actually some decent size like braking bumps out there today, and obviously the track was deeper. I'm not sure if that was because of the heat or whatnot, but it was definitely the deepest Washougal I've seen.
This one's for Chase. I don't know if a comparison can be made, but I want to ask you. Clearly, you're on a roll. You were also on a roll that year where you had all those knockdown dragouts with Eli. So, how are you feeling now compared to then? Is there any comparison to be had?
I would say I'm better now than I was. For me, I think back then, it was only 2 years ago. I was really gelling with my bike in 22, and I think that's the biggest key for me. And especially this year, I feel really comfortable. And like I said, I feel really centered on the bike and really able to play around with the track more than I have probably ever. So I think that's just adapting. I've changed some stuff in my riding. Try not to hammer as much through the bumps. It's kind of a newer riding style, but I think, like I said, having that bike gelling is making that easier for me. So I would definitely say I'm better than I was in 22. I mean, that's the evolution. I would hope that I'm better 2 years later than I was back then. And I just try to get better every year.
This is my last question. It's for Aaron. I was hoping you could take us through after that second moto when you stopped and shared that beverage with that fan. What was your thought process there?
Yeah, I stopped. The dude poured it on me. A little bit got in my mouth, and I tried to spit it back out, which in return spit into my mouthpiece and then went straight into my eyes. So the ride to the podium was pretty fun after that. Did taste all right, though.
So, what was the Roost R like on the horsepower hill? On 450.
First moto, I can't say. I was too far gone. Chase said he was gonna get the whole shot, and I told him he's got to beat me to the first corner first. So that's how mine went.
I think I got a little karma first moto because I was talking so much crap this morning. My starts, for some reason, in practice felt super good. I told him there's no way I'm not hole shotting the first moto. And I don't think I was even in the top 10. So I got enough roost out today, probably for the rest of the year. I have Hunter hit me with a dirt clog the size of a baseball first moto. Dude, I have a huge hole.
They got you marked as 6 at the start in Moto 1.
No way. I was way farther back than that. But anyways, I had a huge
I don't know. It
bruise in my
says
chest.
6 at the whole shot.
If I was 6th, that was because I kamikazed in the second turns. I was nowhere near the 6th place mark.
All right, you guys all had great results here. Is the break, the couple of weeks off, is that very welcome? Do you want to go again next week? Do you want to continue the flow? Or you guys say, we need a break?
I would love a break. Outdoors is no joke, and getting 2 weekends off is it's gonna be cool. Get to hang out with the family and do some stuff that I wouldn't normally do. So I'm ready for it.
For me, I think if we didn't have the SMX races at the end of the year, I'd like to get it over with. But I think since we got those, since we race into basically October, we need the break right now. So it's kind of nice. I'm gonna enjoy the break. That's for sure.
Yeah, I mean, after these 3, especially Southwick, Redbud, and Millville, those are 3 really hard races. Like Jason said, I think after those, you're pretty much you're kind of wanting a break after those 3 races. This one was tough just because it was hot. But yeah, it's definitely nice. I don't know if we need 2 weekends. I feel like it makes the year a lot. For some reason, outdoors every year goes by super fast until we get to this break, and then it feels like it never ends. So, I'll enjoy it. Try and soak it in and get some rest and come out swinging for the last 3.
Last questions. You guys ready to get out of here? You guys done?
Yes.
All right.
Hell yeah.
All right, boys. We'll see you. Thank you, guys. Congratulations once again, Chase Sexton, Aaron Plessinger, and Jason Anderson.